Right now, I feel like, as a philosopher, like I'm in these legacy years. I'm especially concerned by the loss of cognitive abilities that we are experiencing. We need to slow down. Mm-hmm. We need to recover what brought us here. We are probably living in the wealthiest times that a human being has ever seen. You have all your basic needs covered. So what is that we do in order to keeping the incentive of the economy flowing? Well, we create needs. All these business practices that are driven by this idea that having more is going to make you happy, that money is the key to be happy, all of a sudden begins to get into how we developed as human beings. Now we are in the economy of likes. But now in very complex associations, I sell you status and
social acceptance, high regard of like I'm a desirable personality in which you should be like me.
I am not a loser. This is where reflection comes to be very useful. Everything is not about maximizing profit. And I come from a school that is very tied to Harvard Business School. So I am basically, kicking the beehive. No, come on, it's maximizing profit. And I don't know, what about maximizing purpose? What is that we are building?
Welcome to the Old Life Podcast. Today we are very lucky to have Dr. Rolando Islas here. Rolando Islas has a long-standing career as a philosophy professor and businessman. In 1989, he founded Synapsis Sistemas in Mexico City, where he performed his duties as Chief Operations Officer until 1997, when he left to create Logica de Sistemas, where he was the CEO until he sold in 2020. He had the privilege to design and deploy a trading system to avoid the floor in-person operations at the Mexican stock and exchange money market, design a system to control in real time the operations of a few Fortune 10 companies, was involved in the design of the first cross-selling platform for banking and investment products in Latin America, and was involved in the design and deployment of a predictive trend analysis platform for business intelligence. From 1993 to 1996, he studied an MBA at IPADE Institute for Business Management for experienced executives in Mexico City, which holds strong ties with Harvard Business School and its case methodology as a learning tool. In 2001, he decided to study a bachelor's in philosophy, especially interested in the field of philosophy of science. In 2008, he did a thesis on the problem of objectivity in quantum mechanics field to earn the master's degree in philosophy of science. And in 2014, he earned a PhD with a thesis on belief and design on David Hume's philosophy. He has been teaching philosophy-related courses since 2008, researching and publishing over a dozen articles related to the convergence of technology, philosophy, and media, edited a book published by McGraw-Hill on human digitalities in 2020. He has collaborated as a speaker for St. Michael's College at Toronto University, with Universidad Mayor in Chile as a researcher, with Universidad Panamerica in Mexico as a lead researcher, and joined the City University of Seattle in 2021 as an associate faculty professor. Anything else we should add there, Doctor?
Well, yeah, I was teaching I left CDU about 3 years ago, and then became a professor at UCW.
I can get to that.
And I left UCW about 2 months ago, and just to focus on my research.
Amazing. So what are you doing for research now?
It's a project, basically. It's a project that we call Homo Disruptor. So it has two basic lines. One is like, it's saying for more academic purposes, is we are researching on complexity. We are researching on ethics of transhumanism, algorithmic ethics. I'm actually working right now in a chapter that is going to be published by Springer by the end of this year on the algorithmic ethics. Is right now it's all over us, and the other project is something that lands closer to my heart. It's I feel I usually tell people that I feel like I am in my legacy years. When people ask me, why is that you didn't go back to the business world after selling your company? It's like, man, I did my time, right? and right now I feel like as a philosopher, like I'm in these legacy years. I'm especially concerned by the loss of cognitive abilities that we are experiencing. Like,
did you say the laws or the loss?
The loss.
Yeah.
It's like memory is fading away. Our ability to creativity is going down. I mean, you can tell that even in music. It becomes really, really simple, and our ability to concentrate. So we have high levels of anxiety now, and well, we all know what media is bringing us, or mass media technology overall. And now we have the newcomer with AI. So, man, it's a whole new game. So, this other line, this project is, we are working on a set of books. These are books that are aimed more for the general public. So it's these are like dialogues between classic philosophers and today's people. These are like a mix of sci-fi. I don't want to call it a novel, but they have a story, and the whole idea is to put together three basic concepts for people to think. Is we and in the Islands of Certainty, I talk about a little bit on another level, but it's just we need to slow down. Mm-hmm. We need to recover what brought us here. In a way, is reading helps us to exercise abstraction, to have imagination, to figure out, how is my character looks like, and how is that the whole situation is developing. Then the other one is trying to encourage people to write. Just that practice is basically lost. I remember when I was a kid, usually girls used to have journals, right? And it was like, oh man, all the secrets were in that journal. But it's
now the secrets are all public on Facebook.
Now it's and images, and so when you are writing, you are basically explaining concepts to yourself. Mm-hmm. You are expressing yourself in a way that it makes you understand. And if we don't exercise that, we begin to lose this ability to communicate.
Mm-hmm. We spoke to Alex Avard, and he said, I can't speak about something until I write it first.
Yeah. And I think we need to be concerned about that. We need to go back to this practice. And especially, like I tell usually my students, you don't have to show it to anyone. It's just, if you have a problem, try to put it down in paper, and so you will understand it. And it's just like a gym. Is you are exercising this ability, and well, the last one is to come back to reality, right? Is to have. We cannot step away from our relationship with technology today. But we have to be aware that we are becoming dependent. and that is not good, because then we can, we are easily manipulated by all of these images and things. So just make have a strategy to have a coherent relationship with technology.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So,
yeah.
my reading Islands of Certainty, the first question that came to my head, because you talk a lot about complexities and increasing complexities of our societies and evolving with technology, and exactly what you're talking about now is what sprang to mind when we think about raising our children. We have 6 young kids at home, and our reaction is to push back on almost all of the new technology today. The kids don't have iPads or phones. We will watch some movies or shows, but otherwise it's very limited interaction with technology. No video games, no social media, writing by hand, doing all that kind of thing. But I wonder to myself, like, how much of pushing back against that is a good thing, and how much of it is not preparing them for the life that they will eventually encounter?
Oh, yeah, that's a loaded question. Yeah, I have 2 boys, and we went through the same. Especially with the first one, there was no video games, no phones. We were controlling everything that they were watching or that he was watching, and you can do it for a while. We were trying to get some incentives for him to be outside. Well, of course, sports have to be involved. I told my kids, I am just going to ask you. There are some non-negotiables here. One is school. The other one is sports, and the other one is music. I don't want you to be a concert guitarist or whatever, but just try it. So they were busy. That was one of our approaches. The problem is that you cannot walk away from the cultural push. It's at some point, and my kids both were their whole scholar life was in a Catholic school. So, at least I knew the values and all of these was there, or what we were looking for. The problem is that there's a phenomena that I don't know how old are your kids, but about 13 years old, everything begins to happen in social media. And so girls especially begin to have Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. And then they begin to experience a certain control. Because if you control media, and in these little environments, you have certain control of the whole class. At some point, I remember my youngest son complaining about the girl that he didn't like or whatever, and she was asking him to do something that he didn't want to do. I told him, man, just confront the girl and tell her, no, I'm not going to be doing this. He said, no, you cannot do that. She'll fry me. And why? Well, she controls Instagram. And so I have seen this phenomena in different places. It's not that this was just happening in the school. It's everywhere. And then what also begins to happen, then there's this social layering. Like, for example, in my youngest son class, the same time, around 13 years old, there was the class group. So they were communicating everything through there. If you were going to go to a party, it was going to happen there. But then you have the cool guys. So not everyone is invited to that group. And then you have the cool girls. And then you have, they even had a group that was called the Rejecteds. So, man, that's brutal. And at some point, he told me, man, I don't want to be in the Rejecteds, but I also don't like the cool guys. So it's all of these things that kids have to be dealing with. In my
well,
time,
I mean, you talk about complexities. It's far more complex than when I went to school.
Yeah. In our days, and I mean, I grew up in Mexico, where there are some in Mexico and in an all boys school. So the way that teachers used to solve conflict, we had a box ring in the middle of the gym. So you are having a fight, okay? Get
Go
the
at
gloves. Go in there.
That sounds very Mexican. I love boxing.
But it was funny after that. Usually the
gets
guys
resolved.
that were fighting ended up being best friends.
Yeah, I can see that.
And thing was gone. No, today it goes to it goes outside the school in these social networks. And so I don't know if we can actually walk away from that. Is what I did, and seems to be working so far. Now my kids are, one is just graduated from UBC, and the other one is close to, and also in UBC, and they are not into social media. They basically don't like it. So I thought, like, well, we did something good there. But for example, they are into YouTube and all these other streaming platforms, and the way that this generation solves any kind of thing is not like for example, I remember watching my dad or helping my dad if he was doing some job in the car. Or now today is, my kids don't care about watching what I am doing. In fact, it's like, man, what are you doing without first consulting the oracle of YouTube? It's going to tell you step by step how to do it. You are doing it wrong. And so,
But in my family, it's flipped. My dad tells me, "Why are you doing this without looking at YouTube first?"
yeah, so we are getting into that. And I mean, that's a good use of technology in a way. But anyways, now with all of these ads that they run, and all of these ideas that are in even embedded in these ads, it's impossible to really walk away from that. Right? And the idea of complexity is that the problem of complexity basically is what we can't see. Is we begin to, we are doing things, but we don't know exactly what kind of bear we're poking. So what is going to emerge from the ways that we do things? These are, for the people who are listening, is that you have a complex emergence or a complex environment when you lose control, when you don't know really what is going to happen. Let me put you an example, and let's say COVID-19 is. Imagine that we go back in time, and I am your, ironically, your financial advisors. I am your financial advisor, and you come to me and tell me, well, I have this money and I want to invest it, and I happen to have like a crystal ball. Nobody knows that the pandemic is coming, but I know, and I tell you, and usually, if you want to invest your money, what is that you want? Higher rates of return as fast as possible. And just make sure that you don't lose money. So I tell you, I have everything for you. Is in a couple of months, a pandemic is coming. So my advice for you is to buy the stocks from companies that sell toilet paper. Jose, man, what are you doing? The relationship is nuts. Why? What is I thought that you were going to tell me buy pharma stocks or no, toilet paper is going to be the thing. How in the world you connect that? We are used to linear cause and effect ways of thinking. We inherited that from the Enlightenment. The whole idea about the Enlightenment was to control. And then Descartes came with all these mechanical ideas. So if you understand the parts, you can control the system. Until we reached the atomic age. And we began to see that there's a very weird reality underneath our reality. And that if we split the atom, we don't have a particle. We have a cloud of possibilities. So it's like, so where is our control? And then we began to understand that these are systems that are interconnected. So what accelerates complexity is the interconnection. Everything is networked. So how in the world a system that has to do with a virus that it's generating a pandemic links with a system that is in its mechanics is aimed to produce toilet paper? There were several systems in the middle that were connected. And the main problem, let's try to imagine that you were at Costco and you saw someone buying incredible amounts of toilet paper because probably he has a hotel, and somehow you made a connection with the pandemic, panic shopping. So you take a picture, a video, or whatever becomes viral. That's another system that begins to fuel the speed, and all of a sudden you have a high demand of toilet paper that is not connected with anything, but mostly because of the speed of the happenings, and no one stopping to reflect. We sometimes need to reflect about what is really that we are trying to accomplish. So this is a problem with complexity, and things begin to emerge.
It reminds me that in our own investment philosophy, and it didn't occur to me reading your book, but it occurs to me now when I hear you speak about it. So we take the view that the bigger the idea, the more complex it is, the more difficult or impossible it is to predict.
Yep.
So although we would love to know where the stock market's going to be or the economy or inflation, we say it's too big, it's too complex, we can't predict it, so we will waste zero time trying to forecast those things. Mm-hmm. So we take the opposite view. We say, well, let's get as simple as we can, one single business, and then we can make a more meaningful prediction about what's going to happen with this one business in the supply-demand curves that they're subject to in their competitive environment. And that's more predictive for us because it's simpler. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I guess I don't have a question. I just have a reflection on that.
Yeah, no, I like that. I have a loaded question. Okay. I'm not saying, do you want to ask anything first?
Well, I was just going to comment in terms of like the impact of human behavior. And so the oddity in regards to when we went through COVID-19 and just the attachment to like, oh, toilet paper seems like a great idea. It's a call out to what you had mentioned earlier, in which people are not really taking time to reflect and think of their actions. And I think also in terms of social media, especially having two young girls, knowing that at that young age, and I have one that's 12 going on 13, the importance of social acceptance and finding their structure outside of the family, and how their peers and the acceptance of their peers tends to weigh on them at a very young age. And so to be very alert of that possibility in which the influence of others can lead them to a degradation of character. So, I mean, just a reminder as a dad to two girls of to be aware of these influences and the importance of the family to basically guide them in a more appropriate direction.
Ooh, I don't envy you right now. It's yeah. I mean, think about this. I am a true believer that if you begin to research history, you will find the answers, because it's where we are tied to whatever was going on, right? So if you go back to these ideas of Keynes and Taylor, and how is that, and I mean, even how is that the American dream was conceived was, if you, and I'm going to super oversimplify, but if you build goods, then you generate jobs. If you generate jobs, people have money. If people have money, they find goods. I found that even the word goods it has a link, an historical link, because these were things that were going to make your life good. You were buying goods for your life. And it was a virtuous circle. Of course, until we hit that usually are saturations. We hit the saturation, usually fueled by greed. The system collapsed, and all of a sudden, all this scientific idea of administration that came with Taylor began to get people laid off from factories, because now they were substituted by machines. Huh? And all of a sudden, then people have no money. So, I mean, the whole system is collapsing. So we come with another amazing idea, right? This credit. Now you have money that you don't have, but so you can still be buying goods, and there's this link to happiness, because the whole idea of the American dream is you are going to retire happy, and you are going to be able to have a good life. And so, I mean, that was the way that it's that we were pushing, is under these concepts of happiness is you can reach a happy life if you have. And I want to leave open the have. I'm not just circumscribing it to money. It's just to have things. We love things. And the other idea is now. This was the idea attached with credit. Doesn't matter if you don't have money. Yeah, you can have it now, because I am going to lend you, and but this is going to cost me. Yeah, but you are not going to even feel it. It's just going to be like a gentle force, right?
Right.
And so we have this immediate need, or not need, want of something, and now we have the means, and we kept pushing. Our economy kept evolving, our technology kept evolving, and all of a sudden we have saturated market. With what I mean with saturated markets is that we are probably living in the wealthiest times that a human being has ever seen. You have all your basic needs covered. Most people. Food, we have more than enough. Clothes, I don't know. We now have fast fashion and all of these, and we keep changing. And so what is that we do in order to keep the incentive of the economy flowing? Well, we create needs. So we have to convince you about how much you need a Louis Vuitton bag. At the end, it's just a bag, right? No. But now, in very complex associations, I sell you status, and
social acceptance,
Social
high
acceptance.
regard of like I'm a desirable personality in
Of
which you should be
course.
like me.
I am not a loser.
Yes.
And
You guys are convincing me to get a bag.
and then with you see this is the logic of business. This is where we came from. I remember when we founded our business, it was IT. I was lucky enough to be one of the first generations of software engineers that were getting the grip of all of this. And our idea, I was 19 years old. Our idea was very naive. It was like, yeah, let's make the world better. We can do this, and at the same time we can make money. And it was all fun and games. And but what I didn't realize, because it's also talking about complexity, we were stepping into the gas. It was now at the beginning. I remember I was punching cards. You probably don't even know what that is, but it was just to make a program. You had to punch cards and feed them into one of these IBM readers.
That was pre-cassette, pre-floppy disk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
And then you will get the results in a printer that it was very hard to read, and that was the beginning of my IT career. And 8 years later, I was dealing with a PC. So this tells you about the speed and how everything was getting into a direction. Then the next big change was networking, and all of a sudden, man, we had no idea what to do with a network. To be honest, we had the architectures, client server, whatever, but it was so. You began to explore, and models began to come out, and all of a sudden we have wireless LANs. That was nuts. And I remember a few years ago, I was able to go in an exchange with MIT to see this new technology that was emerging because of networks. They call it the web. And for the first time, I saw someone connected in Alaska and having a video conference with us in MIT. And I thought, like, man, this is crazy. It's going to take a while for us to get it. Wow, probably 3-4 years, and we were talking about all of these. Now, why is that this story is relevant? Because we had no idea, especially with the web, how to monetize it. It was at the beginning, the internet was a place for nerds like me, and we were just exchanging code, and it was a very aggressive environment. You better knew what you were exchanging or doing, because otherwise people there were going to fry you. So you need like a very thick skin, and you had to know what you were doing. But everything was for free. We were sharing it for free because we really believed in this idea that something good was going to come out of here. And the volumes began to grow and grow and grow and grow. And the ivory tower was full of people exchanging things for free. And all of a sudden, America Online came in with an idea. Subscriptions. So one company was able to monetize these.
You're speaking of AOL at that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the CompuServe around that time too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the ivory tower collapsed because now you have all sorts of people,
Yes.
not even
with the techie geeks, nerds.
Yeah.
Now it's to the mass public of its use.
and subscriptions began to be a thing.
Ah, yes.
It's one of the first. I don't like it. I don't like to call industry or business that began to understand the power of subscriptions was anything that was sharing graphical content. And one big demon began to emerge. Complexity again was pornography. Exploded, and they were making tons of money because of these subscriptions, and so on. But then I want to jump in this story to social media. So you see, all these business practices that are driven by this idea that having more is going to make you happy, that money is the key to be happy, and all of this economy begins to weave its ideology into technology. When social media kicks in, it explodes. Nowadays, if you go into a classroom and you ask anyone, I usually tease my students, like I tell them I am the genie in the bottle, and you don't have only 3 wishes. You have whatever you can ask. I am going. In fact, you don't even need to ask. I know what you want, and I will be giving you everything that you want. And then I ask them, what is the first thing that you want? What is that you want to be? What is the purpose of your life? And I usually get the same answer with variations. I want to be rich. And then if you ask them, and if you begin to push, why is that you want to be rich? They don't know. It's just because I can have things. And I tell them, well, once you have something, that something is going to come with a demand. It's an exchange. I'll give you a plant, and you promise me that you are going to keep an eye on that plant. Who's going to water that plant when you go away? Or you want a dog. It's even worse. And so it's everything that you own is going to take something from you, and usually it's time and attention and this. So
Which we're referring to as like a cost beyond the dollar figure, but the cost of the responsibility and the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
Burden.
I tease them with the story of the guy who owns a Ferrari. You own a Ferrari, and then you go to the mall. Where do you park? I will park probably in the furthest.
Furthest spot possible, so no one can ding the door.
Exactly,
Right.
because it will take. That old lady that is going to open the door into my Ferrari is going to take a piece of my soul. So who's more comfortable?
Right.
The guy who owns a Ferrari or the guy who's driving a lemon? Right?
And it's curious, because then you essentially be a slave of that thing, because the other things you think of is like, it occupies your mind as opposed to just enjoying the mall. Now you're thinking about, who is my car going to be touched, or who might hit it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea of happiness, you begin to see how it crumbles.
Yes, it does.
But going back to this economy, or this idea of, this business economy, or this business ideology embedded into technology, all of a sudden begins to get into how we developed as human beings. Is like now we are in the economy of likes. In order to be seen, even by myself, I need...
You need external affirmation that what you're doing is correct.
Of course.
Okay.
And I believe...
But it's more than that. It's a metric that like publishers use to pick authors.
Yes, this
how many
is
views
true.
you get, how many likes you get, right? It's its own economy. Right?
Exactly. And so also where I want to get is how this affects our morals and our ethics. Because nowadays, you've heard before that everyone has a price. Well, it's telling you that we can bend our morals because of money or because of these economies. So it's stronger than us because it's the gateway to be happy, and that is pretty much embedded into business ethics. Who's going to know, right? It's like, man, I don't know if this product is safe enough. But if we're not, under the scrutiny of the government, okay, just keep it low, right? Or we can talk about, recent scandals, Volkswagen scandal with the diesel engines.
Right.
It was, how many people died because of that? I'm going to say, oh, come on, man. No, it wasn't that bad. Well, there were 11 million of these cars that were polluting 40 times what they were supposed to pollute. Imagine those 11 million cars in Vancouver. That we have 5 million people living together. You will see people dying like birds falling from the sky, but nobody sees it. So it is okay. It's just like it's not okay. It's just like morally, I don't feel attached to these. In philosophy, there's a thought experiment that is known as the trolley problem. So there's a trolley going down the railroad, and it's out of control. So, and there are 5 workers working on the rails, and there's one that is working on a different side of or a different set of rails. So, if you move, and you have a lever. If you pull the lever, you kill one, but you save 5. Mm-hmm. And you have no options. You have to make a decision. So, the utilitarian point of view of this is, it's very obvious. Save the one, and kill the
one to save the many.
And save the 5.
Okay.
But when let's change the problem a little bit. Imagine that it's the same, but you are here with Anthony in a bridge, and you know that if you push him in front of the train, he's going to die, and you are going to save 5 people that are down the railroad. Would you do it? It's the same thing. Well, people struggle to do that. Is when you ask people, they're like, no, man, this is just that it feels more personal. I am killing someone that I know to save 5. Yeah, but you were also, when you were using the lever, well, the problem with technology is that we do a lot of damage remotely. We don't see it. So it doesn't really feel personal. It's especially marketing practices are very toxic. Is the way that we portray, especially women in our ads. Well, what are we doing is like this whole idea of the Disney narrative about princesses. If you have, you have girls, so you probably see your princess, right? And girls want to dress as princesses when they are young. Why is that? What is the idea that is associated with that? Princesses are beautiful, and so they are liked. And usually, as parents, when we see our teenager girl, coming down from her bedroom, and probably the hair all messed up and not in the best mood, you don't tell her, "How is my princess?" Probably that, man. Just go and clean your face. But if you see your girl dressed up for the prom, oh man, it's like, "Oh, my princess, you look so beautiful." So we reaffirm all of these ideas. because we're in the same stream. This is where reflection comes, to be very useful. Is we have to express our love and our basically acknowledge their presence when the circumstances are not optimal in relationship to the culture. I think it's the same thing in business. It's not. Everything is not about maximizing profit. And I come from a school that is very tied to Harvard Business School, so I am basically, kicking the beehive. Right? No, come on, it's maximizing profit, and I don't know. Is what about maximizing purpose? What is that we are building? I was, driving here. I was listening to the news, and it's just it's not going to surprise anyone. You know that Mark Zuckerberg at some point he promised that the messages in Instagram were going to be encrypted and not even reachable for them. Well, today he announced that he backed up on that promise. He said, like, no, is nobody cares about really the secrecy of the messages. So we are announcing that, we are going to be opening these messages. We are going to know who is that you are talking to and what about you're talking, because that will help us to profile your experience.
Right.
Yeah, that's it's going to manipulate this, and that is the moral of business.
Right.
Is I can promise you something, and then if I have enough power, I can back off.
Reminds me of the movie Inception, of like you take an idea and you plant an idea. And that's essentially what is. Oh, I'm going to find out these ideas that you might take and plant that idea for the manipulation for profit.
Oh yeah, is that. That is basically the definition of a successful marketing campaign. I don't know if you have ever heard about neuromarketing.
No, please educate us.
Neuromarketing is the practice of, and now it's a very common practice. So it's basically the design of how to build a need into a market. So
to create a need ex nihilo from nothing?
Probably, or more than a need, a want. Something that you cannot resist. So what neuromarketers do is they design their campaigns, their products, whatever, and then they begin to show it to different groups. But they measure your, they put
Your
electrodes.
physiological responses to...
And even, they even take you MRIs to check what are the sides of the brain that get triggered. They put these lie detectors just to see.
So you're trying to elicit the best response for...
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the way that this whole thing is designed. Now I know that you are going to get excited when I show you a red Ferrari, or I don't know. It's playing with all of these things about acceptance and again, going back to this idea of how is that business practices are deeply embedded into our technology today and into our influences. Is we are in the economy of likes, and I don't know, the way that we portray ourselves is to maximize something, maximize attention. I don't care about what you're saying. Is we don't listen anymore. I want to be listened, but as soon as you begin to talk, I take my phone. And, I'm hearing, but I'm at the same time texting. That happens a lot in young adults. So this is where we are now, and getting into AI. that is the big game changer. Because if you talk about this speed or this urge that we have for the now and getting there, it's easier to delegate decisions into AI. I mean, to reflect is slow. It takes energy. It takes knowledge. I don't want to do it.
Because you're essentially delegating to AI. Actually, I don't want to think anymore. Tell me what I need to think.
Yeah. Because we're lazy. I mean, we like
because it feeds our instant gratification. Okay, I now have the answer now, so I don't have to do any more work.
And we love an easy fix.
Yeah.
So that's the problem that we're dealing with.
This podcast has been prepared by Sean Gregory, who is a portfolio manager, AJ Sanson, and Anthony De Lazari, who are associate investment advisors for IA Private Wealth Inc. Opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the portfolio manager and investment advisors only and do not necessarily reflect those of IA Private Wealth Inc. IA Private Wealth Inc. is a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund and the Canadian Investment Regulatory Organization. IA Private Wealth is a trademark and business name under which IA Private Wealth Inc. operates.